Hey, welcome to Ambitious Black Girl, the podcast. On this podcast, I dive deep and choose to be vulnerable about experiences I've had while I journey through life. As an ambitious Black woman, I feel it's my purpose to use my voice to celebrate, liberate, and educate myself and others. From time to time, I'll invite friends and family to join me on topics ranging from race, mental health, self-care, and so much more. So for now, take a deep breath in, exhale, and join me in thoughtful conversation. This is Ambitious Black Girl, the podcast. Welcome to episode 2 of Ambitious Black Girl, the podcast. Today I have the phenomenal Mecca Moselle, mental health advocate and model. And we're going to talk about mental health and the importance of having a routine while pursuing entrepreneurship. So Mecca, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. I'm Mecca Moselle. I started a mental health movement about 2 years ago. And now I am in New York City pursuing my dream of wanting to model.
Beautiful. I love that. Okay, cool. And where are you from?
I'm from upstate New York, Syracuse.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. I love that. Amazing. So what's your definition of ambitious and what makes you an ambitious Black girl?
So ambition to me is listening to your spirit. What do I want to do in this life and what is needed of me, and chasing after that feeling and doing whatever it takes to get there. Being ambitious to me means being rebellious, because I think that, you know, we have proven ourselves as Black women now that we are entrepreneurs and we are meant to do whatever we want to do. But being ambitious is really about being rebellious, because people don't expect these things of us, but we take what's within us and we take our ideas with the sources that we have and we do that. So
I love that. Amen. Kudos to that. So with that being said, let's move right into your personal journey leading to this moment. So tell us why mental health is important to you and why you began your mental health movement, I'm With You.
For me, mental health, it's really important because I feel as though without acknowledging where you are mentally, you're not able to take the next step as far as pursuing your next day. And I just think that the unfortunate thing about mental health is a lot of people don't know how to do that. So to me, it's really important on figuring out how I can have a positive mental health, because I have so much that I want to do in this world and I want to feel good doing those things. So that's why mental health really means a lot to me.
Why did you begin I'm With You?
So I have major anxiety and manic depressive disorder. And growing up in Syracuse, a lot of people don't talk about mental illness. A lot of people don't talk about mental health overall. So it just was really alarming that I would have all these feelings and I would get all these things told to me from a doctor, but like no one around it was talking about me. Even though I seen other people would have the same kind of things that I was going through, no one was talking about it. So that's why I took it upon myself to learn as much as I can about mental health.
Okay.
And, you know, put out the information that I'm learning.
Yeah, and not to interject you, but can you give us a definition or explain to us what manic depressive disorder is?
Yeah, by definition, they compare it to bipolar disorder, but from what my doctor explained to me, it's different. So I don't really know, but my biggest goal has not been to focus too much on what my mental illness is and kind of like what it is that caused them to even diagnose me with that. So I've been really focused on like how to get out of that title instead of like focusing on really what it is. So truthfully, I don't know it by like definition what it is. I just know what it feels like.
You know what it feels like and you know what triggers you into feeling that way. So you said that because you were explaining that you experienced this and you noticed that in your community, in your neighborhoods, that other individuals were going through the same exact thing. So that prompted you to dive deeper into investigating like exactly what you were feeling and experiencing, and also that brought you to I'm With You. So Tell me a little bit about I'm With You.
So I started I'm With You for the first time ever. I opened up on social media about me dealing with depression for a long time. And I got really, really vulnerable. And after that, I got tons of messages, emails. Like, my friends were, like, reaching out to me and opening up. And it just opened my eyes to the fact that, for one, I'm not alone.
Okay.
You know, like, I'm not the only person who's going through this currently and trying to figure out at the same time, like, but while trying to be sane through it all.
Yeah.
So I just kept thinking, like, what's a way that I can help others while helping myself? And that's when I started I'm With You, which is solely focused on being vulnerable, being transparent, and talking about what we've gone through and where it has caused us and led us today and how we can move forward from that.
And I love that, you know, it's such a blessing that we have social media, that we have the internet, because just like you said, you quickly realized you're not alone, and
Right.
that through you being vulnerable, many other people reached out to you in response to your vulnerability and were able to connect with you. Tell me, with getting so much feedback in regards to mental health and others expressing what they were going through, what solutions do you have, or have you been able to shed insight on or just share with your community?
Well, for one, my hardest thing has been I didn't go to school for psychiatry. I didn't go to school for anything as far as I had to do with mental health. So it's all just been about, like, doing your research. Like, when people come to me and, like, I don't know what to do, I need help with this, do your research. What exactly are you feeling? Do research on why I may be feeling this way, and then dig deep within yourself on what may have caused this. So that's kind of where I start with people, because, again, I'm not a professional, so I just give them advice based off of my personal experience.
Absolutely. So we were talking earlier about personal rituals, right? When it comes to mental health and just navigating through your personal journey on a day-to-day basis. Why is it so important to have personal rituals?
So for one, to me, the word ritual means organizing something to create a certain feeling. So if you are an entrepreneur who you know may get very overwhelmed with your workload in a day, I think that it's important to find something very calming to do before you start that workload. Rather if it's meditating, rather if it's listening to music and figuring out that, like, whatever sound it is that calms you down, and just regrouping and making sure that you're okay before you dive into anything, because again, our mental health comes before anything.
Yeah.
And before you start your day, you need to figure out what kind of person you are and what can I do to fix that, to make my day smoother. Because without, especially with being an entrepreneur, you don't have a schedule. So your day can go any which way possible.
And I was just about to say that. I'm up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
My day can go anywhere from 6 a.m. to like 2 a.m. some days, most days. So I know that it's important personally for me to wake up and to redirect and to set my intention, set my energy. And that usually is some form of meditation. But also I check in midday to perform, to just to be in the act of my personal ritual as well, because it's great starting out with your personal ritual in the beginning or in the morning, but I also feel like you kind of need to check in throughout the day.
Yeah, and that's
it gets overwhelming.
It's important to maintain that, because I think once you start practicing that routine every single day, then it'll become natural, and it's just a nice balance between entrepreneurship and your mental health.
Yeah, they say it takes 28 days to form a habit.
Yeah.
So it takes some time. It's definitely a muscle that you're exercising, but it's necessary.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. Cool. So how does having personal rituals help to drive your ambitions?
Me personally, so I have a whole routine that I've been doing probably for the last 2-3 years. Mm-hmm. And it helps me because, especially with manic depressive disorder, one of the symptoms is your mind just can go left, right. You're thinking about A, B, C, and D. You're thinking about yesterday. You're thinking about tomorrow. So for me, it's about finding a solid foundation before I go on my day, because again, you can't predict what goes on in your day. So what my personal routine would be, I wake up, I drink tea. I make my tea in the morning. While my tea's boiling, I will go and shower, get out the shower. I also make sure that I have certain products that make me feel good and make me feel happy when I smell them. So I'll get out the shower and I'll get my tea and I'll make sure I eat something. That's really also important too, being like an entrepreneur and making sure like we're not only feeding our mind, but we're feeding our body and our spirits as well. So
Absolutely.
I make sure to hit all of those notes before I step out into my day.
Yeah. Cool. And even for me, I know that I have an altar that I created.
Yeah.
So every morning I wake up and I devote at least 30 minutes to just personal time at my altar. And my altar, consists of many different, pieces and scents that make, that bring me back to my higher self, my spirit self. But we can go into that in another episode. So, my next question to you is, what or who is behind your ambition? Where does that drive stem from? That fire to keep you going?
Mine would be...
I feel like I know the answer to this.
Yeah, you already know the answer. My ancestors.
Yes!
I'm really big on setting the new tone for my generation, my family's generational traumas and past. I'm trying to move forward because I know some people with Black families kind of can relate of just trying to change your mindset of where you come from and unlearning a lot of things and like relearning for things that are better for yourself. So I just, understand where my family may have been in the past. I respect them for where they were in the past. And I know now with the knowledge that I'm learning, the people that I surround myself with, I have a bigger responsibility. So what drives me is making sure that I'm making them proud, the ones here and the ones that are gone. Like, that's my biggest drive.
I love that. And I think there's a saying that says you have to know your past in order to know where you're going. Right?
Exactly.
So I think that's beautiful that you do the daily work, and also that, your past, your ancestors support and stem
my team.
Yeah, they're your team, honey.
Team.
Like, they keep you going.
For sure.
And I think that, at least for me, I always like to take it back to my ancestors, also my lineage, because we talk about like feeling alone, being alone, but truthfully, we're not alone.
Not alone, ever.
We're never alone. And there's so many people before us that sacrificed and lived and just created and did so that we can be where we're at, but also, that are just connected to us. So we have to remember that, tune into that, because I think the more that you have a grasp of that, the easier it is to navigate throughout your journey, even though it can definitely be tough and hard. It's worth living, but let's be real, y'all. It gets real in the feels. So I love that, Mecca. So you did just talk about your ancestors, but who inspires and motivates you to further your ambitions?
I would say my cousin Ramik.
Okay.
He's a big motivation. Like, he's really like my biggest motivation for sure, because we come from the same city. We have the same blood, and he knows and sees my potential. Even when I don't see it, he's just like, Mecca, like, you got it. Like, you're going to be way further than where you are right now. You're going to feel better than you do right now.
Yeah.
And he's just always 100%, like, always believes in me. And when I can't believe in myself, he's like, I got you. I'll give you that energy that you need right now.
Yeah.
I'll recharge you. So that's my biggest inspiration, for sure.
And that's beautiful to have that support group, even if it's one person, right?
Exactly,
That
yeah, he's just been my day one. I have a lot of friends who like support me, but that's just like my day one. Yeah,
I love that.
For sure.
Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. So knowing where you are, Mecca, knowing where you are now, how far you've come, and where you intend to go, do you have any valuable wisdom that you want to share with our community? Like, anything that comes to mind?
I say my biggest wisdom, I would say, is, although this may come off a little cliche, but it's so important, is to always see beyond where you are. It sounds so simple, but, like, I think for us to be able to, like, keep believing in ourselves, sometimes when the world doesn't show that they believe in us, like, just keep your vision clear always. That's my biggest thing I tell anybody. Keep your vision clear. If you have your vision clear and you know what you want out of this world, there's nothing that should be able to sidetrack that. So just always stay focused, always stay clear. Even when you're not clear, write it down, read it. Tunnel vision. It's really my biggest thing. It's kind of cliche, but that's my biggest thing always.
Yeah. Tunnel vision. Yep.
Tunnel
Staying
vision.
laser focused.
Yeah.
And always, like, looking at the bigger picture, like
Always
the vision.
look at the bigger picture.
I definitely do that, and I know ways that help me do that is just by writing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I even do voice notes. I know that you also set personal alarms.
I do.
Can we talk about that super fast? I think that's genius when you brought it up to me.
So my time's 11:11, 1:10, and I do 4:44 now. It's a new one. I have affirmations that kind of remind me, like, oh, you're beautiful, like, go out to this day and with your head high. And then my favorite one is at 11:11. It says 2019's almost over. Get stuff done and get to the money. Like, that's my favorite one, because it's just always, like, I'll be at work like, like, I can't stand this, but it's just like, it's okay, because you're on a mission, one day out of many to get there.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, puzzle pieces, right?
Puzzle
to the
pieces,
big puzzle.
To the huge puzzle.
Yeah, to the huge puzzle, massive
we
puzzle.
know it. We're not there yet. I'm nowhere near there yet, but I'm gonna get there, and I just gotta take it a day at a time, an hour at a time, and just keep calm.
Amen. I love that.
And get through my day.
Yeah. And just an FYI, y'all, when we're talking about just setting, like, cute affirmations, you can do that straight
on your
phone.
phone. Yes, you can do it on your iPhone. So all you do is just go to your iPhone, change the title to whatever title you want it to be, and then when the time comes, it'll just, like, ring up. My alarm's amazing that it'll wake me up.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful reminder.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful reminder.
I've been doing it. It's great. It's great. Well, okay, Mecca, tell us thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with us, with all of us, with our community, with our sisterhood, and just sharing your personal story and your journey. But for anyone who wants to get to know you better, can you tell us where we can find you and where we can find I'm With You?
Okay, so my Instagram is at Love a Little with 2 E's at the end. And I mean, that was 15.
Wait, can we spell that out?
It's LOVEALITTLEE.
There we go.
Love a Little. And my website is meccamoselle.com. It's Mecca Moselle is MOZELLE.com, where you can find all my previous work for I'm With You, and I am doing a relaunch in 2020. Yeah. So if you want to check out more of what I have to say about mental health and anything. Just you can check out my website.
Yeah, and honestly, y'all, Mecca is such a genuine, a very unique spirit. So I can say this just because I personally know Mecca also, that if you just want to reach out, say hi. If there's a conversation you're thinking about having in regards to mental health, in regards to modeling, in regards to entrepreneurship, anything, please feel free to reach out to Mecca.
Yeah. Also, if you don't feel comfortable with showing your face as far as, like, DMing me, I do have on my website, there's a live chat which goes automatically to my phone. You don't have to put any information in. You can just type out whatever you're feeling and what you need, and I'll do my best to be that support for you. I may not have all the information, but I know what it's like to feel alone when you're going through your lows. So reach out.
Yeah. So reach out. This is a sisterhood. We're here for you. And thank you so much, y'all, for tuning into episode 2. Ambition at its finest, honey. And I think that's a wrap.